Hi everyone, I am Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty, and I'm so excited to show you these little treat bags I came up with. It's a little twist on the dies that kind of make a box, and so I'm going to show you what I did. I created a cover. So if you open it up, it's a little lid, and then you have a little box of candy inside. And I made it out of vellum, so you can kind of peek through. If you had candy corn, you'd see it better than those chocolates, but they're kind of fun. And so the box, if you just do it as a box, it looks like this. And I actually have a video on how to put this box together, so you can check on my channel. But so this is the standard box with the dies, and so I kind of interpreted it. I made it a gusseted box or bag, and with a cover. So I want to show you how I did that. So the first thing is where I got the dies to make the little box. And so in the Tricks and Treats bundle, which is in the 2023, I'll show you the green cover, holiday catalog, you have, this is the stamp set right here, and then you get the dies that goes along with it. And so here are a couple more samples of the boxes, of the open boxes you can put ribbon through. Or they made this box a little bit shorter and to put a cookie inside. So it's kind of versatile. I'm trying to use this box template in different ways. So, you know, some people might not want Halloween that much, but this is kind of a handy die to have. Now, if you don't have it, you certainly could kind of make your own box. We've done that before. All right, so then you get all these other pieces in here, which I might talk about as we go on. So I actually tried to make one out of parchment paper, but it was too flimsy. And so what I did was I used vellum, which is nice and really nice and sturdy. So I think that's a best way to go. So you need two pieces. Hopefully you can see it because it's see-through. You need two pieces, right? So I cut one and then I cut a second one. So you need two pieces to make a box. And they do come with score lines, so it creates this little half tab, and then you have a score line on here. So that would be like the side of the box, and the tabs where we glue it together. But before we put it together, to do this gusseted mark, we're going to score it. And so what I did was, for this one, you can use your trimmer or your scoreboard, but I wanted to show you something on here that what worked and what didn't work. So it's like 1/8 of an inch wider than in 1 inch. So half is a 1/2 inch. And so I just scored it, and I kind of went down to the 3-inch mark, and I'm going to do that on both. And you can do the same thing with a paper trimmer. I went down around 3 inches, and you have that nice score mark. Now for the top, I cut, let's see, I have it here. The little box cover is 2 3/4 wide by 4 inches long. And there's this little zigzag is one of the dies that comes in the set. And so I used washi tape and I lined it up because it's see-through, and I wanted to make sure my edges were kind of clear. I just lined up the edge of the washi tape. I guess it was this side, and then I just lined up the top and I ran it through my machine. But we need this little score mark on here so that when we put it together it bends over. But when I tried it with a scoreboard, it ripped. So it was fine for this, but for this it tended to rip. So what I did was put that away. That's when I brought in my trimmer, find the non-ripped one, and then I just went over 1/2 inch, and then I just scored that. So you don't see it as much, but that is there. So I just didn't want you to rip your vellum. And then actually I might as well, I'm just going to fold. It's really nice when you make a crease and the fold, it just really stays. So you have that nice fold on there. So let's put this together. I'm going to use this so you might be able to see it a little bit better. There we go. So before I even fold on all the score lines, I'm going to glue these two pieces together like that. So you can kind of see where that tab is since it's see-through. So I'm going to line up this edge with this score line right here. I'm going to use tear and tape. A lot of times I use glue, but for vellum, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work. It warps. So glue has some water in it, some moisture, and when you introduce water to vellum, it kind of buckles, and so the tear and tape worked out pretty good. So I'm going to peel that off. If you had like the old fast fuse, that would work. If you had the Seal Plus, I think that's yeah, that's the blue one. That should work because that's nice and strong, but you do want a strong adhesive. So I'm going to line up kind of this line with this line, and then again the edge of this paper with that score line. So we're just making this now one piece. And now I'm going to fold on all of my score lines. So we have that little tab, we have the bottom, this little bottom, and you can use your bone folder, but you can kind of see my fingernails working just fine. This tab, and then there's actually two more. So don't forget, remember there was a fold right there, but we put the edge next to it. Press that down, and then we have this one right here, right? Because it's 4 corners of a box, so that's really what we're folding for. And I'm just making sure it's straight. All right, so now we have all our, oh no, I forgot this one. There we go. So you can kind of see that the box will come together. All right. So what I'm going to do, so now I'm looking at the inside of the box because these are coming up, so those will go on the inside. I'm going to fold this tab over, this little 1/2 inch tab, and I'm going to put tear and tape on that. Oh, nope. I'm not going to do that just yet. I did that in club and I forgot, but it's okay. We need to put our cover on. So we're going to put our, if you're doing this and you forget, you just attach the cover at the end, but it's kind of easier to do it now. So I'm going to put a little tear and tape again on this 1/2 inch cover, like that. Okay. It really doesn't matter if it goes on this one or this one. I'm just going to do this because I think it's easier since I have that little tab there. I'm going to center it. It's not exactly, doesn't exactly go edge to edge, but it's pretty close. All right, so that's our cover. So now I'm going to put tear and tape right there. It really does just tear. You can use scissors if you want. That piece is actually a little bit long, so I will just fold it over on itself. Make sure you. All right, let's see. So that's down, and so what I'm going to do is actually just close it right on top of each other. I'm going to smooth that over so it's nice and flat. And so that's going to give me 4 right angled corners. Right, so then when I move it that way, I have a nice square. So I'm going to flip it up. I'm going to push those 2 tabs in. And I'm just going to put tear and tape on one side. So since my box is going to open this way, I'm going to have this one going last. So I'm going to close that in, and then that will, not that it matters, you're not really going to see the seam, but keep a little tear and tape on that edge. All right, so now those are closed, and that's going to get closed. I'm just going to look to make sure as best I can to keep those right angles. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to take my glue or something else and just kind of press it down. like that. So then there's your box. And so because we scored on those, if you just kind of pinch them in and then pinch down, that's what gives you that gusset. And then this will just come on top. And there is our box. Isn't that awesome? I'm so excited about it. So now I just did a very simple decoration on the box because the kids probably just want the candy. So what I did, goes over. I'm going to use a matte because I'm using photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to use, let's see, I have both Frankenstein or Dracula. Let me start with Frankenstein. You got a Frankenstein head and then his face, which is not scary, it's pretty cute. I found, let's see if it works. Oh shoot, I need another ball. Here it is. I stamped the face first, and that way I was able to line up the green better. Let's see how I do. I do have one cut out already, but let's see how I do. I'm using Stays On Black. I find it's darker, the Memento, but sometimes the first time doesn't stamp so good. Oh, I did good. Okay. And then I'm using Granny Apple Green. You could use any green. So I'm just going to move it closer to me for a second. So I found I was able to line up the top of his head with the top of the head this way. I had actually, when I put it down, I shuffled it a little bit. So that's not perfect. That's okay. I have one right here. He's just so cute. But let me show you something. Someone did this at club. Let me see. You can actually make his face a little elongated. So I went this way, but if you go this way, is that how she did it? I should have practiced. That doesn't look right. Oh, that's what she did. Okay. So, sorry. Rather than line up the top of the black, she just went down a little bit, and you get a little bit longer face, except for it won't line up with the die that way. You'll cut off. But if you needed to stamp directly on a card, you could do that. And then the Dracula is kind of done the same way. This one's a little crooked, but you have the top of his head. It's actually three different. The hair is a separate stamp than the face, and then the purple. It's super cute. All right, so I already have one cut out, and there are dies. There are dies that go with it all. And I also, I know I just saw it. There was a boo. Here it is. Oh, hold on. There should be a boo in black. I know it's here. I saw it here. You guys are probably looking at it. I have gems. We need those. Make sure it didn't end up in my cover. It's not stuck to anything. Oh, darn it. Don't you hate it when this happens? I'm losing things. I have adhesive strip on the back of it, and so that's why it might look white. Oh man, let me go. All right, I just went and got another one because I know I could have just said stick it on there, but I actually wanted to show you a trick. All right, so I don't remember what they're called, but they're in the annual catalog, and they're kind of fun because they're brownish black and silver, so they're kind of worked with that. So I'm going to flatten out my box. Just keep it, let's see, do it here so you can see. Just leave it flat like that for a second. And I'm going to use, it really doesn't matter, There's two sizes. I'm going to put a gem on the edge, and then I'm going to flip this around just because I can see better, and put a gem on the edge so they're fairly centered. And then I have my boo, which is a die, in here. And what I first did, I took some black paper and I put some adhesive strip paper on the back, and then I cut it out because this would be hard to stick otherwise on the vellum, because I didn't want to use the glue. So that just peels off. Make sure I don't want that in there. And so now what I'm going to do, use my tweezers, I'm going to center that in between the two gems so it's centered. I tried one before. I put that down thinking it was centered, but it really wasn't. And then I'll just use 2 dimensionals on my Frankenstein and put that right there. And then to have it seal, because it's, you know, it's not going to close, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to take glue dots, and I'm going to put a glue dot on the back side of each gem so you won't see it, because that's the trick with vellum, because it's see-through. Throw my candy inside, and then fold that down and stick it. And it's easy to unstick and stick because the paper is kind of plasticky, and so it unsticks and sticks quite often. So aren't they cute? Where's the other one? So this one has candy in it. That one doesn't. I just think they're super cute. And again, this is the regular box that the die makes, but we just turned it into a gusseted lidded box. But again, there's a video on my YouTube channel for that one too. All right, I hope you liked it. Have fun making them. Someone at club said that before we started, they're going to make one for everyone in their neighborhood. And then she said, well, maybe not everybody, because it's a little bit more labor intensive, but they're so cute. And again, you could do, it doesn't have to be Halloween. You could put you could put that polar bear on top and put some Christmas candy inside or Valentine's candy. So they can be really for any occasion. So thank you very much for watching. If you are not receiving my weekly emails, I invite you to sign up. You just go to mailsomethingpretty.com/sign up, or just visit my website. There's a box right there, and you'll get on my mailing list. I'll send you a video for a fun card immediately, and then you'll get my weekly information. So thanks again. I'm Christine Josty at Mail Something Pretty. Have a wonderful day.